Welcome everyone. We're very excited to be here with you today, here on Facebook and around the world for the opening of an amazing facility that will change the world, transform our lives. And we are honored to be here with the owner, the amazing woman with gifts and talents that she's using for not only this community but for our nation. And we are also honored to have legislative support here and family and friends. So welcome, and I'd like to, yay! This facility will give you more information, but I'd like you to at least say hello and let her introduce herself to you, someone you will be seeing more of, and hopefully you will be calling to talk to in this beautiful facility. I'd like to introduce Erin to you.
I'm Erin, and I'm a mental health counselor. But I don't really like to refer to myself as that. I'm just a regular person. I'm just like everybody else, and I think that's why this works. I scoop up a spoonful of my heart, I let people in my door, I make a cup of tea, and it works. I really try to break the stigma in Buffalo and the surrounding areas about mental health, especially when it comes to people of my cultural background. I want us to all know that it's okay to get help, that there are people that look like you, that the face of healthcare is changing, and now is the time to take care of your mental health needs. I've been so blessed to have not only one practice location, but this is my second. The first place was a starting point and an awesome one. I had so many people come from all over to meet with me at that place, which was my first place literally on the ground. This place is much better, much more space for groups. There is an area for people to wait, and I'm so excited about this, not only for myself, but for my clients, because they deserve it. I think that's what I'm excited about the most. When I was thinking about what I wanted to say today, following your dreams came to mind. This was a dream of mine that came true. I'm from Buffalo. I grew up on the east side. I went to Buffalo Public Schools my entire life. And this is my dream. I work for myself. I see people in my community. I'm thriving. If I can do it, you can do it. And I can do it because of my family, my friends, and above all, my faith. My faith in God. And I'm just so happy and grateful to be in this space. In this space, literally, and just in this space in my life. It wouldn't matter if it was one person or 500 people here today. Every person that came out or that's watching on Facebook or that thought of me today means something. And I'm just so grateful. I dreamed of being at this point. I used to work with kids all over the city, doing counseling in their homes and in different agencies. And to be where I'm at right now is just a dream come true. And to my clients, I just thank you all for allowing me to come into your lives, into your hearts, and hear your story. I never take that lightly. Being a therapist is such an important job, and I never take that lightly. So anyone that's ever entrusted anything to me, I thank you for that. And I promise that I'm going to continue to build. This year I'm going after more insurance companies. I'll be offering more services and also a wider range of different ways that you can pay for services. And that's another thing. A lot of private practice facilities only take cash or credit card or check. I made it my business to start accepting Medicaid managed care because everybody deserves quality care, quality health care, the same experience in private practice where you sit down in a beautiful space and you feel like you're a king or queen, everyone deserves that. And so I will continue to go after plans and to set payments for people that have a fixed income that are trying to get help just like everyone else.
I'm going to give her a chance to take a breath. I just have one question, Erin, because you're a licensed therapist, mental health therapist, and I had the pleasure of interviewing her about a year ago, and during that process of just sitting down and talking with her, I was so impressed. I was so touched, and I saw God in her heart, and she truly wants to help her community, and she wants to help everyone. She has the gifts and talents to do it. But there was a stigma, she said, about mental health, and that people don't understand that it's okay to ask for help. And I will pass the microphone back to you, then we'll get to the ribbon cutting and then to our guests.
Yeah, I mean, people don't understand that it's okay to ask for help, and I think that these are learned behaviors. It not only comes from you, it comes from our parents and their parents, and people not only of my cultural group, but all across the board look at sometimes mental health, mental illness, or just maybe having a bad day and needing someone to talk to as, I am weak because I need to work this out somewhere. That's actually a strength. To allow yourself to be vulnerable in life, period, is a strength. And I want you to keep that in mind, even though I'm promoting counseling, and I think that this is really good, and anybody should be able to seek help in a counseling facility. Counseling doesn't always come from a counselor. You could see your pastor. You could talk to a close friend. You could talk to a colleague. We need to break the silence.
Right. Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
All right.
Erin, how can people get in touch with you on Facebook and the like, just in case they might want to call today?
Yeah, you can reach me at my cell phone, 716-507-1124. That's a designated line for the practice. Or you can reach me at email, erinmmossprivatepractice@gmail.com. You can follow me on Facebook at Erin M. Moss Mental Health Private Practice.
We have State Senator Kennedy, who is a very big supporter of this practice, and I just want to briefly let him say a couple words, and then we'll go right to the ribbon cutting.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sandy. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Well, what a wonderful day the Lord has made here for us, Pastor. Did he not?
Amen.
God
That's
is
right.
good. And to God be the glory for giving us this beautiful day and this wonderful weather. A little break in the action, a little break in the rain. He knew Erin Moss was opening this beautiful facility up
Yes,
today,
yes.
and we'd all be standing outside celebrating. I just want to say, first and foremost, congratulations, Erin.
Thank you.
And I think what Erin just did was demonstrate to us what is in her heart. And we are all honored and privileged to have you as a friend, as a leader, and as a healthcare practitioner in our community. As someone who has extended her heart and her mind and her soul to touch other people. Now, what some folks don't know about me is that I'm actually from the healthcare field. I'm an occupational therapist. So I've worked with folks in the healthcare field, and I know how important it is to have mental health counselors that truly care about the entire person. And while occupational therapists and physical therapists and speech therapists are concentrating on an individual's physical capacity, it's so important to have mental health counselors like Erin Moss that's able to touch an individual in their heart and in their mind to make sure that that individual has that holistic touch when it comes to their health. And so to be here at 770 Niagara Falls Boulevard on this wonderful day, on this wonderful occasion, to really celebrate not just the opening and the birth of a new business, but to celebrate the continued entrepreneurship, the continued leadership, and the continued positive mission of Erin Moss and the success that she has achieved in her life that has benefited all of us is truly a privilege. And I'm so honored to stand here with you today on this wonderful occasion. And here's to wonderful, wonderful success to come. And I can tell you, I will be spreading the word, and I'm sure each and every one of you will be as well.
That's right.
Congratulations.
That's right. That's right.
Hi, I'm Erin M. Moss, and you're watching the DJ Starr Show. Apparently, DJ Starr let me take over today, and I'm so happy to be here. Today, we're going to talk about mental health. I wanted to start off by talking about what mental health is. You know, we're so scared by the word mental health, but does anyone even know what that means? Mental health is anything that affects your emotional, psychological, and social well-being. When you think about it like that, I'm sure that everyone can relate to that. When we think about mental health and we think about biological factors, you know, things that run in your family, your genes, a lot of times some of the things that you're experiencing, you know, your grandmother may have experienced, or your mother or your father, life experiences such as trauma, whether it be traumatic events of the past or things that are going on in your life now, family history, whether it be your parents or your parents' parents, those things all factor into mental health. Your social well-being, how you are at work, how you are at church, how you are with your family. All those things comprise your mental health. So now that we've broken the word down, maybe it's not such a scary concept anymore. Mental health knows no racial boundaries. Mental health affects us all. So let's get more comfortable with what that is and dive right into some issues. We'll be right back. So we're back. I wanted to talk about what some of the more common mental health disorders, I tend to see. Depression is a really big one. We see a lot on TV about people that are depressed, and I think we just get this image of this person that's down and sad and someone that wants to harm themselves. Well, that is definitely the case for a lot of folks. But sometimes depression can be hidden in people that are smiling, that are walking around, completing their everyday task, and you would never know. Depression is a big one that affects a lot of people. The next one is anxiety. Anxiety is very common, especially if you live a very hectic, fast-paced lifestyle. Anxiety can cause a person to feel very restless and keyed up. Anxious people tend to have scattered thoughts, and sometimes they appear to be all over the place. Anxiety is something that affects not only adults, but it can also affect children. Some common anxiety disorders are generalized anxiety, social anxiety, social phobias. Anxiety can also lead to panic attack. I think a lot of times people let their anxiety sit for so long and build that it can increase their likelihood to have a panic attack. Panic attacks are something that are very serious. A lot of times people do need medical attention. It could be shortness of breath. The person could be actually shaking, unable to function, sometimes stuck in the same place. But a lot of times you will see people move from anxiety to a full state of panic. The last one that I wanted to bring up was PTSD. Post-traumatic stress is something that affects everyone. If you've experienced something that's very scary or horrible, something that has a lasting effect on you. People that have trauma sometimes have trouble remembering things. Sometimes they actually replay things. Guilt and blame seems to come into play. And just like depression, there's also a linkage of a loss of interest in activities. Hi, welcome back to the DJ Starr Show, and I'm Erin M. Moss. Today we're going to get into depression and anxiety. So what is depression? Depression is a continual, state of sadness. It's okay for you to feel sad. It's okay for us to get angry, just like it's okay to be happy. But when someone is depressed, that is their baseline. That is their mood most of the time. Some types of depression, like dysthymia, go on for longer periods of time, where you see someone that's depressed on and off, really for years. It's a continual depression. Some people are depressed for a brief moment in time. Maybe it's due to something that has happened in their life. It could be something traumatic. It could be something really big, or something that might not be as big to you, but it was significant to them. I'd say it's safe to say that we've all felt feelings and symptoms of depression. But some people have what's called clinical depression, and it really inhibits their ability to function. A lot of times people are not able to sleep that feel depressed, or they may sleep too much. Weight fluctuation is a big deal when it comes to depression. You'll find that some people completely lose appetite, where others stress eat or, eat when they're depressed. Maybe very late at night is something that's very common. A lot of times with depression too, you'll get someone that has what's called suicidal ideation. So that really just means they have thoughts and sometimes sensations and acts of actually harming themselves. Sometimes people want to harm someone else, so homicidal. As a clinician, what I do is I assess someone's lethality and I make sure that they're okay, that they're not harm to self or others. Someone that's depressed to that degree, I recommend that they have routine counseling treatment. Also social supports, whether it be at home or at school or at work. They need to have a plan in place for them in the event that they are harmed to themselves. And also, I do recommend medication if someone is thinking about hurting themselves. A lot of time when someone is depressed, they are prescribed something like an antidepressant to be able to help them to deal with that. I don't prescribe as a mental health therapist. I do send them to my referral source, a psychiatry group, and they're able to get the medications and things that they need. We need to not be afraid about taking care of ourselves, whether it be in counseling or in counseling and medication, if we have something going on that's serious. Anxiety and depression go like this. Sometimes anxiety or depression can be so high that you're experiencing both, so there's an overlap. So what do I mean by that? Someone can be so depressed that they're starting to feel symptoms of anxiety. Some of the overlap would be the appetite changes, the sleep changes. Those are all things that are common in both depression and anxiety. A person with anxiety feels very restless, as I said before, very keyed up, nervous, tense feelings. A lot of times they're very self-conscious about how they come off to others. They replay and overanalyze things in their mind. So a lot of times in session, what we will do is a therapy called cognitive behavioral therapy. And essentially that's helping them to really look at these distorted thoughts, to break them down and to combat them with logic. So it really helps them to think about it in more of a normalized way. So I hope that this really helps for you to understand what depression is and what anxiety is. As we start to break some of these mental health diagnoses down, we see that one, they're not so scary. They're actually things that a lot of people maybe we can think of have experienced, if not ourselves. And there are things that we need to start being more open about getting help for. Hi, I'm Erin M. Moss. Welcome back to the DJ Starr Show. Today I want to talk about PTSD. What is PTSD? PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder, okay? And anyone can experience that after a traumatic, life-changing type of event. So think about something that was really earth-shattering in your life, or maybe even something that's going on in the world. So things that happen to an individual that is suffering from PTSD, very common, that they feel very nervous. A lot of times they'll have some of that depression and anxiety that I talked about previously. Environment, things in their environment can trigger them to almost relive that traumatic experience. So let's say that you were in a car accident. It could be 3 months after the car accident and you got back in a car, and the car that was driving alongside of you swerved, and it reminded you of the car accident to the point where you had to pull over because you actually were remembering that event. It could feel physically and mentally like you were being hit by that car again. So that's PTSD. A lot of times we see, the soldier, the military person that's experiencing that, obviously, with what it is that they've been through or what it is that they've witnessed. But that can happen to the everyday person as well. Okay, so how is PTSD treated? This person definitely needs to seek psychotherapy, and that's a big word just for going to a counselor. They need to really talk out these feelings, to process these traumatic events so that they can start to stop holding so much weight on them. They can release those thoughts. Sometimes we learn how to rewrite stories, so that we don't hold them, and create alternative endings. We look at support systems, the way that things are different now than they were then. But it takes that person some time to really, really think about the situation and to get over. Everyone gets to the other side of the bend, as I say, with PTSD at different times. Because remember, these are extreme events. That also includes any abusive experience, whether someone was physically abused or sexually assaulted. So as you can imagine, everyone's going to come to those points at different times. So with that being said, we've talked about now depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress, otherwise known as PTSD. As you can see, mental health is very important. These issues affect me, they affect you, they affect everyone. We need to be more aware of these issues. We need to be more comfortable talking about these issues. We need to be more comfortable seeking help. We need to be more comfortable telling other people that it's okay to get help. I have my own private practice. I'm located on Niagara Falls Boulevard in Buffalo, New York. That's 770 Niagara Falls Boulevard, Suite 1, Buffalo, New York, 14223. My phone number is 716-507-1124. You can reach me by email at Erin M. Moss, privatepractice@gmail.com. Also, I have a Facebook, and I really get into my Facebook. It's a Facebook specifically for the private practice. On that Facebook, I make sure every day that I share either a mental health tip or a word of encouragement. And let me tell you, it means so much to me that sometimes I'm at home doing my own thing. I have a thought about something in my own life or something I just want to share. And I jot it down and say, this is my message for tomorrow. So this isn't just some cookie cutter, something that I'm just putting out there. I really care about helping others spread awareness with mental health and just giving someone a bit of joy. You can find me on Facebook at Erin M. Moss, Mental Health Counseling Private Practice, and that's the name of my practice. I've really enjoyed my time here on the DJ Starr Show. I've never actually taken over a show. I think I'm going to take over her entire show. No, just joking. But seriously, thank you so much for tuning in to me. Bye. Anxiety. Anxiety is also very common. It's very common in women. It's common in a lot of people, but definitely messed it up. Messed it up. I was going good though.
You're doing good. Yeah.
It's all right. Just pick it up.
Relax.
With anxiety?
Yeah.
Okay.